Hey everybody, good afternoon. This is DigiDriver. I am doing a quick flight, kind of a little bit of a stream test, if you will, but just felt like flying today. Um, don't feel like doing much else. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick ferry flight from Philly to Norfolk. I'm on VATSIM, so if you want to track me, you should be able to go to SimAware and look up November 820 Delta Victor. I'll be the Phenom flying to Norfolk this afternoon. So welcome aboard, and we're going to go ahead and get this thing fired up pretty quickly based on my knowledge and some of the help that the wonderful folks at Coxbird F team have already given me. So let's go. Looks like the default state for the aircraft is with the external covers already off. So I might change the startup state for this in the future to be with those things on. But uh, no sense in putting those things back on now. So I'm going to go ahead and get underway. We will get a GPU so I can get this thing running nicely. GPU is available, and we'll go ahead and plug it in now. What I very much like about this aircraft is that you can actually power it up without even turning the batteries on, just using the GPU, which is superb. I'll keep the chocks on for now since we're just getting set, and then that should be about it. All right, let's go ahead and start getting ourselves prepped. I'll get the nav lights on and panel lighting all the way up because I like panel lighting. Cabin upwash, none of that because we're just doing a ferry flight. Unless, of course, the loadouts from SimBrief have me taking the passengers, so we'll fix that in a bit. And I think the auto alignment is happening now. But we're going to go on VATSIM. I'm just going to go ahead and give myself a quick code. And then we will see if they come online and if they need me to change that, which they could. So wind option 2 already, that might change it a bit. And I'll keep my other screen open in case you guys say hello. All right, there we go. Superb. All right. Oxygen push to restore. Supply control packs auto. I'm going to go ahead and turn the batteries on at this point. Get the gens to auto. And let's see, must tie to auto as well. Pumps 1 and 2 to auto. Pack signs to on. All right, ELT is armed. Hydraulic pump is auto. ADS is auto. Window heats are on. And that would be that side. Ignitions are off for now, and we're going to go ahead and get pressurization set to bleed both. Pressurization mode auto, and I usually leave these alone. Cabin temp, I'm probably going to tip towards the hotter mode since it is a cold day out. And we'll do a quick annunciator check. I think that's good.
Fire. Fire.
Looking good. And stall.
Stall. Stall.
All right, so the behind controls checks are good, and let's figure out what we're going to do. We're going to be flying on VATSIM, cruising at 34,000 feet. If we are going to be flying with ATC, I believe the Philly 3 has a restriction of 5,000 feet. So let me go ahead and just look up the flight plan on the browser. Philly 3 is a max altitude of 5,000 for the initial climb, and then we'll eventually climb up to 34,000. It's going to be a pretty quick flight, so I'm pretty sure we're not going to spend a lot of time up there. And that's it. Departure heading from Philly is going to be, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 230 for the climb out. So let's go ahead and change that. Okay, 230 set. And we're not going to be using ILS today, which is nice, but we do need to get started with the flight plan. And I'll go ahead and do that now. Origin is going to be Philadelphia, which is the airport we flew to last time. We flew in from Block Island on the last stream. And we're taking off. What run were we taking off? Let's see. We're going to be taking off 27 left. 27 left, hanging with the big boys. 27 left. Enter. And destination is going to be Norfolk. And let's see what runway. It's going to be 32, which is definitely a departure from the norm for me since I usually like landing on the longer runways, but I'm not flying an airliner today. All right, en route, we've got a bunch of waypoints to hit, so let's hit the procedure button, see if we can actually get the Philly 3 departure set. We have the Philly 3 as the only option, and we're going to be taking off 27 left. And if you can tell real quick, we're going to be going to 440 feet and then going on a heading of 267 direct to Mansec. And we'll load that. Okay, so from Mansec is where we're going to be going to Woodstown. So we'll deal with the destination route right now. Woodstown first. Then direct to Tebby. I used to have to punch in these waypoints by hand in back in FSX days. And then direct to Hato. So these waypoints are very familiar to me. From Hato, we go to Tripod. And from Tripod, we go to Jamie. Jamie is in Northeast USA, so we'll pick that one. And the last one's going to be Charlie Victor, which is Cape Charles. That's the VOR. Okay, so pretty much, let's see. Once we get to that point, we're going to be taking an arrival into 32, an approach. And the approach is going to be the RNAV 432. And I believe we go direct from Cape Charles, so we'll pick that as a waypoint. Minimums will pick radio altimeter because I'm not aware of issues with weather. But let's take a look at the briefing preview. When the flight plan was generated, weather at Norfolk was, let's see, winds 330 at 8, gusts 18. Overcast at 7,500. So as long as we don't have any other cloud layers, we should be able to go radio altimeter. So that's what I'll do. And we'll take 200 knots, 200 feet since we're coming in over the ocean. And it's a fairly flat place. Fairly flat. And that's it. If we go missed, we go to Jimmy, which is in the Chesapeake Bay. And we'll load that. So now we have the entire flight plan. And then the route, we go to the approach. Yeah. And let me take a look at the approach actually on the chart and see whether or not this approach is actually a different glide path than what we're accustomed to. Glide path is 3.06 degrees, so that's pretty close. That's pretty close. I would almost debate that that's 3.1 degrees, but it's going to be a visual approach anyway, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, there's our flight plan, and let's go ahead and start getting ourselves prepped for departure. We have our initial climb, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on the flight directors. Flight directors are set. I'm not going to worry about the, what am I saying? The nav radios. We're using GPS all the way. And yaw damper is now on. Let's go ahead and get this plane started. We already have gens and battery on. And I'm going to go ahead and I think disconnect the GPU at this point, since we have actually 25.4 volt battery. So we're pretty good for charge. We should be able to get the engine started on that. We will remove that, and I will remove the chocks as well, making sure the parking brake is on, which it looks like it is. Go back to equipment, chocks, and GPU are gone. All right. Now, just a quick reminder before start checklist, we have no wind data, but current winds or reported winds at Philly were 300, 17 gusts 23. So it's going to be a quarter inch crosswind, but it should be within aircraft limits. And gear pin steering link, maintenance status, VOR check, flight log, lights. Lights are nav. And what else do we have? We'd have no way of being able to check oxygen mask flow, but it's cool to have that on the list. CVR test, I'm assuming that passes. Fuel quantity and balance, great time to check. Fuel quantity and balance, let me go ahead and make sure the fuel is good. The flight plan calls for, where are we? Maximum of 1,273 pounds of fuel. We have 1,378. We should be very fine in case we have to divert to Dulles. Not that I want to, but I could probably do a visual flight rule and try to fly VFR right into the airport, or I'll get a new flight plan from them. And that's it. Oxygen pressure. We are on the ground, but I do have bleed set to both, mode auto, and altimeters. Let me check my weather. Should be real weather. Now it's gonna be fine. And let's make it real time while we're at it. There we go. It's over 3 p.m. And now when I hit the B button, it auto calibrates. The reported weather on my flight plan said the altimeter was 3007, so we're pretty close. And that's about it. Okay, we're good. We're still 25 volts. And we've got the altimeter set. Minimums will set radio altimeter here as well. And it'll be 200 feet. And that's it. We'll leave that on until we actually get out of here. I'm not going to take too much time taxiing around. We're going to do a bit of a, get out of here taxi. So it's going to be pretty peppy. And that should be it, except for a few other things. Let's see. Altimeters, flight plan we've entered. Takeoff temp ATR. Skip that. LFE. Skip that. Weather radar, not going to worry about it. Weights. What are my weights right now? Cargo should be, for this flight, was prescribed at 418 pounds for the payload. So let's leave it around there. And like I said, fuel, we have an overabundance of fuel, so we should be okay. And actually, this checklist is keeping me honest today. This is cool. All right, comms, we're going to go ahead and check the transponder to, oh, it's already altitude reporting, so we are mode Charlie already. And comms, I'm going to go to 122.8. And switch. And now shoot some frequency traffic just in case anybody's here. And that's it. For the taxi briefing, we're going to be taxiing to runway 27 left via Alpha, Delta, crossing runway 26 at Delta, crossing runway 27 right at Delta again, right on Echo, crossing 35 at Echo, Sierra, Sierra 1. That should do it. So there's our taxi brief. And doors closed, battery voltage, still good. And okay. IFE, I believe, has something to do with the cabin. Cabin will auto pressurize. Sign's already set. Air conditioning is disregarded, and ADS AOA is already set. And now we're going to make sure that our ignition is ready to go. So let's put this away. Ignition to auto. That's on. That's auto. Auto should be fine. And one final check. Pumps are auto. And let's go ahead and get the engine started. Quick check of the exterior. Nobody's near the engines. We should be good. All right. Clear engines. Parking brake set. And double check the equipment checklist here. Everything is removed. Good. All right. We're starting engine 1. Excuse me, engine 2. Okay, engine 2 is up. Let's go ahead and start engine 1. That's weird. Oh, is my autopilot on? I wonder why the engines are full blast right now. Hello? That's quite weird. Wow, my engines are pretty much capped at 100%, and I'm not doing anything with the throttle. Well, that sucks. I don't know why the systems are completely firewalled. Did I forget to do something? My autopilot is off. This doesn't have any auto throttle. Okay. Fuel pumps are auto. If I turn them to on, yeah, so it's not that. Fuel transfer is not on. Okay. And yeah, that's odd. That's really strange. Got a beep, beep, beep. Let's see. Did somebody give me a PDC? They did give me a PDC. That's fantastic. All right, so it looks like we also have New York Center online, and I'm assuming this came from New York Center. Advise ATIS, contact 125-325 for taxi, so I'm going to be on New York Center for departure. Hit F1 on my keyboard. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. F1. F1 again. F1 again. Press 3 times. No effect. I did stop and restart the flight about 3 times to try to find the livery that I wanted for the flight. So I might have to stop, exit Microsoft Flight Sim, and come back in and start this fresh to be able to maybe get a fresh start totally. Maybe. But I've never had this happen before. Is it because of my lights? Taxi light. I did not restart the flight. Each time I wanted to switch liveries, I went back to the main menu, chose a different livery, and loaded back in. So, I tell you what, just to move this along, I'm probably going to go ahead, exit the sim, come back in, redo everything, and then get going and see what happened. So, let me do that, just in case there was an issue. Okay, so I'm off VATSIM. Let's exit to the sim and try to reload the sim flight again. I mean, exit the sim, reboot the sim, go back to the airport and try again. That's what I mean. Okay, sim is gone. Let's go ahead and try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, about 5 seconds. Quick start, everything to auto, bleeds to both, and then turn over the right engine first. Will do. Thanks for stopping in, by the way, Arch. Hope you're having a very good day. I will be totally transparent and say that last week burned me out. I have like some things that I'm working on or trying to do in terms of like flight sim scenery development and programming. None of that happened between last night and today. I just woke up and I was just like, all I feel like doing is like chilling, and then I felt like flying, so I grabbed the Phenom and wanted to do a very quick flight. You're working on things. Good, good. Hope you and the family are very well. I did some home project work yesterday, shoveled, cleaned the car a bit. My car battery is low, so I got one of those battery jumper things to have in case I couldn't start it when I'm out and about. It's really neat. It's just this little like Nintendo Switch sized battery booster, and all you have to do is hook up the battery terminals, plug it in. It tells you whether or not you have it hooked correctly or you've reversed polarity. And then once you have it hooked correctly, you can press start, like you can press the boost button, and then it'll just time out for 30 seconds to let you start the car. It's neat. It's very valuable. I would really recommend it to anybody that's actually out and about and needs to make sure they can get their car started. Because I know it worked for me, so praise the Lord for that. But yeah, did some homework and went to sleep tired last night. But that's how you get stuff done. Also, pardon the visual effects, but I think what happened was the frame gen mod is actually affecting display. No big. go straight to Philly, and we'll park in the same spot we were at before. All right, not much else I should need to do. I think the one thing that I'll change is that I'll get my weight and balance set immediately, and I'll get the payload set to about 440 some odd pounds. Fuel I leave exactly the same way, and that's it. We are gate parking. All right, so quick start, everything to auto, bleeds to both, right engine first. I'm not even worried about spending fuel. It's literally got more than enough for the flight. Okay, so we're in. My throttles are idle, and let's go. Batteries, Gen 1, everything to auto, bus tie to auto. Oxygen supply control, hydraulic pumps to auto. ELT, pumps, window heats, ignition to auto, pressurization to auto, bleed auto. That's it. All right, I can figure everything else out once we get this plane started. And again, more than enough fuel for today. And I will keep this plane parked with the parking brake set. We'll hit engine number 2 right now, right engine. ITT temperature going up. Okay, that's a lot better. It's behaving. We'll do engine 1, left engine. All right. Okay, so we've got a PDC for our departure. Let's go ahead and get underway. Transponder code that they gave me last time was 2627. No alerts. And transponder code will keep altitude reporting on now that we got the engine started. And PFD is already set for wind data. Timer ref will get the radio altimeter mins set to 200 feet. It's a quick flight, so it shouldn't be a problem. And that's it. All right. Flight plan will be slightly annoying to redo, but that's okay. K P H L to, oh, excuse me, runway 27 left. And destination, Kilo, Oscar, Romeo, Foxtrot. Okay, running, landing 3-2. And we'll figure out the en route. But before we do that, we'll do the departure out of Philly. Only one available, Philly 2, excuse me, Philly 3, 27 left. Okay, load and done. And procedure for the arrival or the approach. I keep saying arrival. We will take the RNAV 32. We'll take it from Cape Charles. Radio altimeter 200 feet. And load. The engines are stable and they are responding to inputs. So they are running, which is good. I like running engines. I also like engines that are behaving, so good. Active flight plan. Let's set up the en route waypoints again. And like I said, punching in some VORs. Woodstown VOR. And I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, Tibby Hato, Tripod Jamie. Tibby. Hato. Oh, wait. No. That's the wrong order. Hato. That's weird. I must be doing something wrong. All right, put it there. Hato. That's better. And I think I could just keep punching waypoints here. Go straight to tripod. Yeah, that's better. That's much better. And Jamie. All right. Northeast USA, done. And then we have the flight plan set. Cape Charles. Yep, pretty much. That's it. That's it. All right. Flight plan is set. And we've got the departure and the approach. So let's zoom in. Actually, why am I looking at this? Oh, cool. Huh, I could have loaded the flight plan. Duh. It's okay, but I do have it set for next time. All right. So, good enough. And that's it. We have 1 nautical mile range. Let's go to 5. And now that's it. We've got a running aircraft. Let's just make sure all the systems are set. Oxygen, supply packs control auto. Bus tie should be auto. Batteries and Gen 1s are good. We have fuel pumps on auto. Signs on. ELT armed. Hydros auto. Fuel transfer is off. ADSOA is auto. Window heats are on. And we have engines in the run position. Ignitions are auto. And let's go ahead and get flaps set to takeoff. Bleed is both. Pressurization is auto. And let's get cabin temps set. Okay. Indicators running.
Fire. Stall. Stall.
Okay, those work. That would be about it. And we'll make sure we have... I wonder why my sim is now defaulting to not giving me live time and weather. That's a little strange, but whatever. That's better. 3007, was that in the PDC? Yeah, clear fully 3, maintain 5,000, expect 340, 10 minutes after departure, 125325. Contact 125325 for taxi. That's fine. So we'll change the frequency. 125, 325. And God bless you for allowing us to adjust the tiny frequency right in the middle of the comm dial. I'm not even joking. That's a convenience.
Bye-bye.
Rouge 1936, ready for taxi.
Rouge 190, 1936, stand by. Avianca 021, fly heading 180, descend and maintain 5,000, expect the visual approach runway 31.
Let me adjust my levels.
Heading 180, descend 5,000, visualize 31, Avianca 021.
New York Center, Colgan 3422, Romeo Mike Ali, ready taxi 4 left.
Colgan 3422, looking for runway 29, runway 4 left.
We'll go to the left, Colgan 3422.
Roger, Colgan 3422, runway 4 left, taxi via Romeo Mike, Yankee, Sierra, Alpha.
Okay, let me know
Alpha,
if you
Alpha.
don't hear the ATC enough.
The Romeo Mike.
Actually, I see where my volume is,
Sierra,
so
Yankee, and then Alpha to Alpha Alpha.
halfway should be fine.
Just Romeo Mike, Yankee, and then Sierra.
Romeo Mike Yankee, then Sierra, copy 3422.
481 Juliet Mike, cross runway 29.
Cross 29, 1 Juliet Mike.
And the Rouge at LaGuardia, squawk normal. United 2063, runway 4 left, cleared for takeoff. The LaGuardia wind 33013.
Runway 04, cleared for takeoff, United 2063.
JetBlue 2017, descend and maintain 4,000, maintain present heading.
Present heading 233, maintain 4, sorry, descend maintain 4,000 feet, JetBlue 2017.
November 1 Alpha Sierra, contact Boston 134.7.
Contact Boston 134.7, citation 311 Alpha Sierra.
Number 6577 uniform, proceed direct the numbers, runway 31 right.
Proceed to direct the numbers. Can you read the runway back again? November 6577 uniform.
31 right.
Good day.
31 right for November 6577 uniform. Good day.
Southwest
Rouge
2886,
1936,
turn left
we
heading
approach
090, descend and maintain
normal
3,000.
and requesting a taxi.
090, 3000, Southwest 2886.
New York, good day, JetBlue 2317 with you, flight level 120.
JetBlue 2317, maintain present heading, descend and maintain 10,000, expect ILS 31 right approach. Kennedy altimeter is 29 or 9 or 5.
Maintain present heading, descend and maintain 10,000, expect 31 right, 29995 for altimeter, JetBlue 2317.
JetBlue 818, turn left, proceed direct America, climb, maintain 7,000.
West America, 7,000, thanks for 18.
Avianca 021, turn right heading 310.
Right heading 310, Avianca 021.
Republic 5787 at Newark, ready for taxi with Delta.
Public 5787, runway 4 left, taxi via Romeo Foxtrot Alpha and Alpha Alpha.
Romeo Foxtrot Alpha 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 for 4 left, Republic 5787.
Number 4389, the wind is 33012 plus 20, runway 4 right, clear to land.
4389, clear to land, runway 4.
New York Center, Western Global 9356 Aviat, runway 31 left and ready for departure.
9356, stand by. JetBlue 2317, descend and maintain 4,000.
Down to 4,000 and JetBlue 2317.
Rouge
194 heavy, ready for departure, runway 4 left.
At Newark, are we clear for taxi now, or I missed something?
The Rouge on the ground at LaGuardia, negative, you are not clear for taxi. I need you to squawk normal before I can give you anything.
But I'm not at LaGuardia, I'm at Newark, and I have squawk 7120, like my PDC clearance.
Roger, stand by. United 2063, radar contact, say altitude.
Just passing 3000, United 2063.
United 2063, proceed direct Coke, climb maintain 16,000.
Coke 16,000, 2063.
Avianca 021, field is 1 o'clock and 1 o'clock and 9 miles, reports field in sight.
Airport inside, Avianca 021.
Avianca 21, runway 31, cleared visual approach, and runway 31, cleared to land. The wind at Harrisburg is 32017, gust 25.
Clear to land, 31, Avianca 021.
New York Center, good afternoon.
818, climb maintain 17,000.
Yeah, there's JetBlue 1083, holding short 31 left on Zulu.
I'm sorry, say again?
Yes, JetBlue 1083, holding short 31 left on Zulu.
Roger, stand by. JetBlue 818, climb maintain 17,000. JetBlue 818, New York.
Wizz Air 556, I need an altimeter reading. Requesting altimeter.
Wizz Air 556, New York, the Harrisburg altimeter 3009er, 3009er.
Altimeter 3009, Wizz Air 556.
JetBlue 818, New York.
JetBlue 818.
Okay, JetBlue 818, I've been trying to contact you for a little bit, no response, and I see you climbing. Climb maintain 17,000.
Yeah, I thought you gave me 17,000, and I thought I acknowledged it, maybe in miscommunication, sorry.
Southwest 2886, fly heading 020.
020, Southwest 2886. And do you want us to follow a different speed?
Let's do 180 for now.
Alright, 180, Southwest 2886.
JetBlue 2017, fly heading 290, join the runway 31 right, localizer.
290, John Localizer, 31 right, JetBlue 2017.
New York on Nippon 1288, 11,000 for 10.
New York Center 20, United 2494 Heavy, we're ready to go, Alpha Alpha 4 left.
And upon 1288 New York, the LaGuardia altimeter, Kennedy altimeter 29905, expect the ILS runway 31 right. Turn left heading 200, left turn 200, descend and maintain 5,000 for now.
Left turn 200 down to 5,000 on Nippon 1288, and we'll be expecting 31 right ILS 6.
JetBlue 818, leave my airspace, Boston closed, frequency change approved.
Have a good one, JetBlue 818.
And New York, hello, JetBlue 2431, 4 miles northeast of LaGuardia. We never got handed off Boston or got it since. So.
Roger, JetBlue 2431, fly heading 240, descend and maintain 4,000, expect the park visual runway 31.
Roger, heading 240 down to 4,000, and we'll expect park visual, JetBlue 2431.
JetBlue 2317, reduce speed 180 knots.
180 for JetBlue 2317.
JetBlue 2017, descend and maintain 2,500.
So maintain 2,500, JetBlue 2017.
And all aircraft on the ground, got a bit of an arrival push here into Kennedy. Just stand by, it's going to be a little bit. Number 6577 uniform, let's change of plans here, proceed direct the numbers, 31 left.
Can you tell me what proceed direct to numbers means, November 6577 uniform? Sorry about that.
Direct to the threshold of the runway.
Alright, clear to land, runway 31 left, November 6577 uniform.
JetBlue 2017, 12 miles from Zulab, maintain 2,500 until established, cleared ILS 31 right approach.
Maintain 2,500 feet until established, cleared ILS 31 right approach, JetBlue 2017.
Southwest 2886, fly heading 330, join the runway 31 right localizer.
330 and join the 31 right localizer, Southwest 2886.
JetBlue 2317, JetBlue 2317, heading 290, join the runway 31 right localizer.
Heading 290 to join the localizer, JetBlue 2317.
JetBlue 2017, 180.
There's no coverage in my area. I'm going to wait 4 more minutes and then I'm going to disconnect from VATSIM if I'm not going to get a chance to communicate with him.
Zulab, clear the ILS 31 right approach, JetBlue 2017.
Southwest 2886 is 14 miles from Zulab. Maintain 2,500 till established, cleared the ILS 31 right approach.
2500 till Zulab and cleared 31 right approach, Southwest 2886.
JetBlue 2317 is 21 miles from Zulab, fly heading 290, maintain 2,500 till established, cleared the ILS runway 31 right approach, 180 knots until Zulab.
180 until Zulab, descend and maintain 2,500 Delta, JetBlue 2317.
And Southwest 2886, just maintain 180 knots until Zulab.
180 to Zulab, Southwest 2886.
New York Center, JetBlue 8359, got a late descent from Boston, maintaining 12000.
I'm sorry, say again?
JetBlue 8359, we got a late descent from Boston. We were told to just maintain 12000.
JetBlue 8359, let's need to make some room in my finals box here. Turn right, this is going to be a right turn heading 180. Descend and maintain 4,000.
You want to know what? No, I'm out.
Right,
I'm out.
altimeter 29095.
All right, right turn to 180 down to 4,000, and we'll expect the ILS for 31 right, JetBlue 8359.
And upon 1288, descend and maintain 3,000.
Down to 31288, thanks.
And New York Center, Southwest 3325 at flight level 240, about 10 miles to the north of Slate Run, VOR.
3325, New York, hello.
New York Center, United 2494 Heavy, ready for departure, far left.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not waiting another 2 minutes or like 5 minutes to get in on comms frequency. Also not going to complain. So I have my taxi lights on. I do. All right. So we're going to taxi, like we said before, Alpha, Delta, across a couple runways, right on Echo into Sierra, Sierra 1. And that's it. And we'll be flying by ourselves today. It would have been something different if we would have been like on a, in a VATSIM event, or if we would have been on, say, like, what am I trying to say? Like, if we were doing World Flight or something, it's understood. Everybody's kind of being hustled and bustled in, and you're dealing with the delays and stuff like that. It's by comparison, when I did the flight from Boston to Winnipeg last November or December, yeah, it was November. It took about maybe a few minutes to get in comms to ground, and then I followed the traffic, was in between comm calls, and then eventually we got to a point where tower lined us up, sequenced us, and we were taking off within like 3 to 5 minutes of each other. So it wasn't a humongous thing. Like it wasn't a bad deal. Everybody was on. It was well staffed, and that was pretty much it. This is different. You've got one dude for New York Center dealing with a whole bunch of arrivals coming in to JFK, and I'm in DC Center. Why's my nav off? DC Center, and no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. There will be other days. There will probably be other flights as well. Today? No. Not today. So, quick check. I mean, I don't know why I'm bothering, but at the same time, force of habit produces good pilot. Let's go ahead and get taxiing. Quick outside check. We're good. All right, so absolutely nobody's coming anyway. That's fine. Exactly, exactly. Um, oh, wait a minute. I thought we were DC center. That's weird. Okay. I mean, at any rate, that's one less pilot the controller has to be concerned about. And whether or not he took that as attitude, I certainly didn't want to give any. And I sent him a text message. I was just like, hey, I'm going to disconnect. He might have like tried to send me a message like, hey, it's okay. Like whatchamacallit, like I'm your controller. Oh, because it's Traycon. Okay. Let me check my position. It's like you know how you feel. There are some days where it's just like you kind of want to get in and out and you don't really have all that much time to do it and you want to do VATSIM, but then you get to a point where it's just like, I don't want to be on the ground for another 5 minutes waiting for a chance to jump in. And I try to be respectful of the pilots. Like I try to give people a chance to squawk in on comms and like, say their part, but maybe I should be a bit more curt next time. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. Lesson learned. I'm good. All right. Ground loop. We're humming. We're like 20 plus knots, which explains why I'm not making my turns very well, but that's okay. All right. Next left turn should be departure. Thank you. I appreciate that explanation. And I think if I was pretty much doing any other day, any other flight, any other kind of setup, it would have been something like, hey, like, what what's that Chewie likes to say, chill your beans? That would have probably been what I should have done. So, yeah. And that's exactly why I kind of logged off. I didn't want to start to be like, okay, like I need to get out of here, please. Like I don't ever, 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 ever want to give a VATSIM controller attitude under any circumstances whatsoever. They're doing me a favor by providing me air traffic control. Like if I'm in that much of a hurry, I can do exactly what I did, which is go ahead, log off the network. Great. A lot of airspaces are actually starting to stop the drop top down service for this reason. And like that's the thing. You've got one or maybe two controllers on center dealing with traffic from multiple airports, and New York Center is actually starting to get a lot more popular as a destination and departure point because you've well, Boston Center, but I'm thinking New York Center. You still have Teterboro, LaGuardia, JFK, Newark, and dealing with Philly Tracon. So, yeah, yeah, I get it. The last thing that I would ever want to do is show any lack of appreciation to all the people that are making my air traffic control flight a reality. So, big ups to everybody that's doing that control today. It's just that sometimes it is literally possible to understand that an air traffic control flight, when you're in a time crunch, may not be the best thing, especially if you're taking off from an area that has a lot of traffic at the time or it's an event. I chose to be like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and bow out gracefully instead of causing people problems or showing any lack of respect. You vote they start to play the VATSIM controllers. You mean like pilots actually doing a brief stint as an ATC? Oh, start to pay. There we go. That's an idea. Do you mean everyone, like everyone that signs into the network, or do you mean starting to take the what am I saying? The donations and start to actually create a program for compensation for the ATCs? Because honestly, I've used VATSIM enough to understand its value and its necessity. So, you know, like as long as the subscription model is anything less than what we pay for Pilot Edge, I could see myself paying between $5 to $10 a month for the service. I could see myself doing that. This network has come so far that we're at the point now where if the model is going to start to survive, it can do that. But it's a nonprofit platform, so that would present some interesting challenges. If all you're doing is providing a non-tangible service, there is, in theory, some wiggle room to say something like, "Oh, okay, well, that's it. You're essentially going to pay in to the network to provide a non-tangible product and still retain the nonprofit status." I see that. I think that's very possible. Okay, we've got flaps. 120. Let's do a gentle rotation. There we go. Positive rate gear up. And flaps up. Oh my word. That would be a bad day, Coffee Cup Arcade. A very bad day. All right. Give me nav and give me flight level change at 190. Yeah, to be honest, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for us as a community to start showing our appreciation to the VATSIM network with green pieces of paper with dead presidents' faces. So maybe that's what has to happen. Well, Arch, I don't know if you know this, but something happened to me once. I went to Europe to do a VATSIM flight, and I actually took off. Well, I didn't take off. I almost took off on the wrong runway. I actually had to have, um, I actually had to have ATC tell me to abort takeoff. Okay, so you're gonna play Ace of Aces again. That's great. That's fantastic. All right, and we'll take our altitude up to 10,000. I'm sorry, all the way up to cruise, but we'll start climbing now. Let's do flight level change. Every time that I went on Pilot Edge when I was going through the cat training or doing flights, I was afraid I would like mess up and then like they'd scramble F-18s. But the really cool thing about Pilot Edge when I had it was that you could see so much traffic in such a small space. Sometimes it gets a little quiet on VATSIM when you're flying by yourself. I mean, particularly when nobody's on frequency, but even sometimes when you're flying and you don't have much comms, you don't see too many people. So the Pilot Edge experience is just like a totally different level where on Pilot Edge, you have a whole bunch of folks in one or two or three sectors of airspace, including the F-18s I used to see on FSX, which was kind of funny. Okay, so 34,000 feet set, and I'm going direct to Woodstown, and then from Woodstown, we're going to continue our flight. So, lights are still on, everything should be fine. Flaps are up, trim's being managed by flight level change, and that's it. So, Coxbird Dev team told me flight level change climb with the speed set to 190 is the best climb you can have in this aircraft. and that you can go up to flight level 410 in about 26 minutes, which is unbelievably cool. Speaking of cool, we're above the clouds. It's so nice here. It is nice. Do we have any passengers today? We do. Same folks that travel with us. Good people models. And we're about 6 minutes into the flight. 200 or Mach 5.5 is optimal. Optimal? Okay. So we'll do 200 for the climb then. And we're above 10,000 feet. Outside lights off, nav lights on, strobe lights on, beacon lights already turned on when we had the engines running. Back up to about 1,850 feet per minute. And we are on the climb detent. Okay, so let's see. Just to keep things interesting, I will take a look at the after takeoff checklist. Landing gear is indeed up. Flaps are 0. And thrust levers are set for the climb. Right there. And then yaw damper is indeed on. And pressurization is good. We're like 12,000 feet, but the cabin altitude is just over 2,500. So we're fine. So climb out if you're in a hurry to get to above 10K, 170 to 10K, and then 200, set it and forget it. That's great. Let's find that train. If I was going to take a business jet to do a bombing run with, I don't know. I like the Phenom a lot, but I'm not sure if the performance characteristics are different or better than the old school Learjet 2.5 and 3.5s. The Learjet, I believe, was actually designed to be the closest thing to a civil fighter jet. The old Learjet 2.5 models, they're like just flat out just fast and just I think they were kind of ahead of their time, to be honest. Some downloadable content. Believe it or not, Coffee Cup, there's actually plenty of fighter jets that are available for purchase in the Microsoft Marketplace, and you can also go through other vendors like Sim Market or Orbex used to sell aircraft for other sims. I don't know if they do that, but you know, such is life. We are on our way to Tebi and then direct to Hado after that. Okay, so I don't need that up anymore, and blam. I'll close my VATSIM window since I'm not using it. And that's about it. About 3,000 more feet until we actually get to standard pressure, which means we'll be able to standardize the altimeter back to 29902. Over in Europe, it would be 1013 in hectopascals. It is a nice cold day for a flight. At 16,000 feet, OAT is 35 degrees below 0 centigrade. So it's cold up here. And we're almost at 18,000. 18,000. Standard baro. Okay. Standard pressure from here on up, we go to flight levels. So 19,000 is flight level 190. 25,000 is flight level 250. Flight level 270 is when we start talking about airspeed in terms of Mach as opposed to indicated knots. So we're indicating 2.200 knots right now. Once we cross 270, we'll start thinking about airspeed in Mach numbers. Right now I'm Mach 0.432. Inipro wants to know if I can fly a real plane. I did fly a Cessna once. I took a introductory flight with somebody local to me without crashing. Well, the flight instructor landed the plane and I did go up. I flew it. The experience is otherworldly. I'm like eternally ruined for flight sim. Flight sim is great. It's a fun way to have fun. Inipro wants to know if I can type now. What does Mrs. Coffee Cup want to say hello? In that case, hello. Hi. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the show. We just took off from Philly. We're on our way to Norfolk. It's going to be a relatively quick flight. I would imagine I'm only going to spend another like 40, 50 minutes flying. And then once I'm done, I'm going to settle in some more, take care of the pets, the house, and then we're going to spend some time with family later. Oh, that's cool. Great, great. While I have some time, did want to let chat know that I am still seriously interested in going to Expo this year in Vegas. There's a lot that we have to figure out. There's a lot of expenses that have popped up. Life, things happen. But I'm going to spend some time, probably this afternoon and this weekend, thinking about air travel, accommodations, and what we plan to do. If we're going, Mrs. Digi is thinking about taking the week and then flying back on, I'm guessing on Sunday. Oh, Arch, dude, if I'm going, there are so many people that I'm gonna be talking to, saying hi to, probably hugging. I probably will go home sick. I'm just saying that right now. But knowing me, I'll probably, implement as much of a prep as I possibly can. I'll be taking vitamin C pills like a champ. I'll be eating better. I'll be taking probiotics, I think, like every day. And that will hopefully stem the tide. But I don't know if I'll be able to go to an external event like that without coming home with at least the sniffles. But um, I was very fortunate. Last time that my family and I traveled, the worst that happened was that I got a head cold when I was doing the land tour in Alaska, which I combated with some strong drink to get my throat back up to speed, and yeah, enjoyed it. It's like, oh, I've seen you on Bats and Play 20 years. Give me a hug. It's like, I mean, I'm friendly. I'll virtually shake anyone's hand. Um, I guess in one sense, I want to have a measured approach. I want to have restrained, giddy optimism, but I'm going to be there with Mrs. Digi, and we're going to be taking in the sights and doing all these things. It's okay to come back from something feeling a bit run down because that's life. It happens. If I come back from something and I've got a head cold, it means that I spent a lot of time around other people with other germs. That's okay. Um, if I want 100% guarantee that I'm not going to get sick, I should stay home. That's just the bottom line. There's no other way to put it. Um, Otherwise, that's basically it. You know, just enjoy yourself, have a good time, and for me, the bottom line basically is, hey, I am not going to knock anybody that wears a mask at an event like that. You know your body, you know your limits. I prefer not to, and we'll see. We'll see whether or not that pays off. But, but at the same time, it's just something that's there. So all good, all good. I intend on having as much fun as possible, saying hi to people, catching up, having story time, that kind of thing. I might I might even bring some fake swag for my pretend company Crashed Desktop Designs. Some of you guys know I do scenery development on the side, although the past several months have been just not proper for scenery development because I've just been so busy. And I know that one of my other friends, who's also a flight sim streamer, is going to be bowing out of Expo this year because they want to come to Expo next year with a game plan. And they're going to be coming hopefully as a vendor instead of just an attender. So I'm very interested and curious to see what their progress is going to be like. So that's it. But really, like I said, the primary reason I'm going to Expo is to say hi to people that I've known in the community for a long time and to be a part of the discussion, to see what's going on, to sample some technology, to eat some food. I mean, if I'm going to Vegas, I'm definitely going to the buffet at the Bellagio. I'm going to probably go check out Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. I'm probably going to go to the Venetian, to the Venetian, and go check out the sights. I don't know. I might even hit Hoover Dam. I might, but it all depends on several things. Wow, how long have we been flying? We've only been flying for about 18 minutes, not counting, I'm counting the ground roll, and we're about to get up to our cruise altitude. This airplane is an absolute beast, and it's just a small plane. It's amazing. Again, massive, massive, massive shout out to Coxper Dev Team and their release of the Phenom 100. This is an airplane that I think I've been quietly, consciously, maybe subconsciously waiting to come to MSFS for a long time, and I'm glad it's finally here. It's a treat to fly. It's just so nice to finally have this aircraft in the sim. I'm very happy to have it. It's fantastic. I'm happy. Period. Lots of controls to press, and a very nice interior. There was a lot of attention paid to detail, and you even have window shades, which is quite nice. That's kind of cool. Wow, we are about to hit cruise. Okay, so the airplane's going to get up to about 240. Any faster than that at cruise, and we're probably going to overspeed this thing, so I have to be careful. And we literally have, let's see, about 20, 60, I'm going to say about 90 miles until we actually have to be in the approach for the airport. So this is 48. That's about like maybe 30-ish. So about 70, 90. Okay. So what does that mean? That means I should probably start planning my descent now because we are already at cruise and we should begin our descent. Let me think. How long? Do you multiply that by 5? So if I took the 3 zeros away and multiplied 34 by 5, I would probably need about 150. No, that doesn't make sense. But I probably should be in my descent now because of the fact that we're going to be coming in pretty quickly. So, if I take a look, I'm about maybe 70, 80 nautical miles away. 80, and let's see, descend at about, how fast are we going? About 318? 1,500 feet per minute. 34. So we're going to drop about, how many feet? Figure this out quick, Tidge. So down to 2,000. We're going to lose 32,000 feet. That's going to take, at 1,500 feet per minute, 32,000 feet. At 2,000, that'd take like, what, 160 nautical miles? Yeah. Get down there. All right. Let me go ahead and get to 200 again. And I think I can just do vertical speed. I'm going to go down at about 2,000 feet per minute for now to catch up. And we'll keep adjusting the altitude. But yeah, back in 2020, I said I wanted to go to FS Expo, but you know, global health crisis happened and everything got shut down. In 2021 and 2022, 2021 was kind of like not interested in going because it really wasn't back up to full strength. 2022 could have been a thing, and 2023 almost was a thing. But what happened was, essentially, we ran out of money. So I probably would have been in Houston had it not been for some unexpected expenses that we were covering. All right, so now I'm working the other side of the vertical descent. I want to get around, what did I say, 1,500 feet per minute? We're 1,900 right now. Let me see what happens if I start slowing up a little bit more each time. Okay, so we're just around the descent rate that we should be. And how long do we have till we get to the airport? Let's see. Yeah, you would think 48 nautical miles is a long distance, but like when you start getting ready to approach an airport, you start running out of space really fast. Dive, dive, dive. This airplane does not have countermeasures. Do not fire. Repeat, do not fire. El Al passenger aircraft do have countermeasures, though, as far as I know, which is dope. Such a nice plane. Actually, if you have anything capable of playing Atari games, like the Atari, I think 800 or XL or ST, you should probably be able to find or see videos of people playing Flight Simulator. Back in the day, it was owned by Sublogic, but I thought they released copies of it for the Commodore 64 and for the Atari. So it's plausible. I mean, grab a joystick. Yeah, I would have to imagine they released some version of it for your platform. I can't see why they wouldn't have. Okay, let's reduce. We should be at about 250, about 1,200-ish feet per minute. So I'm using flight level change, and I'm tuning my speed to keep a certain kind of descent rate. I've never actually worked with flight level change before for descent, and our ground speed is like about 239 knots over the ground. We're slower than maybe we should be. Let me see. Deal. Deal. We've got some time. Let me take a look right now and see if I can find anything. All right, so Sublogic, Flight Simulator, Atari, and let's see what I can find. I found an image of a Flight Simulator box for the Tandy. Wow. It required 128 kilobytes of RAM. Okay, so let's find it. It was released for the Atari 8-bit and the Atari ST. Learning how to take off. I mean, they did model a good chunk of the systems that were required, but you have to understand, it was a straightforward, necessary equipment in front of you display. Atari 8-bit with 64K RAM? Let's find out. Atari 8-bit. And let's see if I can find any videos. Yeah. Okay, so Atari ST, Atari ST, Atari ST, and Amiga. And I will give you the link to the 8-bit one, and I'll put it in chat. So this is the one for the 8-bit. That's a video. And then I'm going to show you Sublogic Flight Simulator 2 for the Atari ST. And I'll put that in chat now. And there's also there's a Commodore 64 version, and there's an Amiga version. I'll copy that link and I'll put that in chat. There you go. Okay. So there you have it. All right. Now, can my charts show me weather for this airport? It would be nice to see that. Okay, current METAR is winds 280 at 11, gusts 20. So the altimeter down there is 3013, and clouds are scattered at 5,000, broken at 8,000. Okay, so it's no longer overcast. What was the altimeter? 3013. Okay. I would say at this rate, we're probably going to be on the ground in about 30 minutes. I mean, we could be going faster. When I descend, I usually take it all the way down to 10,000 feet to start slowing down. So let's just keep it, let's follow it down, 240. Let's keep it around 1,300 feet per minute and punch up the throttles a bit. Okay, we're going to pass below flight level, so we're going to go to 3013 for the altimeter. There we go. The altimeter is now set. We're back to local pressure. All right, won't need these now. And we are coming in. We're in the bay now. And out here is, I think, the rest of Virginia. And then the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel is somewhere out there. So once we get to Calverton, not Calverton, once we get to Cape Charles, I'll activate the, I can activate the approach. We've got a pretty good 66 knot wind coming across the nose from the southwest. So if you can tell, that's the reason why our flight angle looks like we're cranked a bit to the right. You can also see it a lot better here. Yeah, and to be perfectly honest, those versions probably had better graphics and sound at the time than the IBM versions did. Because, technology. So it wasn't until the early 90s that we started catching up to the Amiga and those other systems in terms of technical prowess. We were, what was it, 4-color CGA, and then we went to EGA in like the early 90s, the late 80s. It took a while before we got to VGA graphics cards. But then once we got to VGA graphics cards and sound cards, and we hit the multimedia PC crossover point, that's kind of like when PC gaming really took off. I would be curious. I would tune in to a stream watching you play that. Definitely during the week. Probably not tonight because of family time, and probably not tomorrow night. Oh, no, wait. Late enough tomorrow night, maybe. It would just need to be, in the evening times, like once I'm done, like with dinner and whatnot, and I'm chilling and prepping for the week. So, like, say, 8 p.m. Eastern, my time, or later. But yeah, curious to see if you give it a shot. So we're not that bad. Let's see how far out we are from the airport. Okay, we've been flying now for how long? About 34 minutes. So we might be like about 10 or 15 minutes behind, but we are actually coming in. You're booting up the Amiga now? That's great. Nice poofy clouds coming into Norfolk. I'd like to see the weather engine in FS 2024 produce the wispy, flat, extremely high level clouds that you saw more as sprites in P3D and in X-Plane before. I would like to see that. These clouds do look nice though. I would be very curious because the Atari, if the Amiga was the system that I always wanted to get because of its graphics, I never even paid much attention to the Atari systems. I knew they were either comparable or, all right, but in those days it was just like the early years of desktop gaming, and you had all these systems competing for attention, to say nothing of the system spread in Europe between the ZX Spectrum, the old VIC-20, the the BBC Micro, the Amstrad CPC. There were so many other systems that were out there that never really made it stateside, that I'm only hearing about now in terms of collectors and people doing things. 10,000 feet, lights on. And let's see. GPS, yaw damper is still set. We're descending at 1,300 feet per minute. We're going a little bit faster than the other descent rates, so maybe a little bit faster than descent 2. 1,400 maybe. So the Amiga Flight Simulator 2, and also variations containing Hawaii scenery packs 11, 12, 13, 14, 7, and 9. That's dope. That's pretty good. Let me increase the sim sounds for you guys. 24 should be fine. Maybe 26 because it's getting... No, it's actually pretty good. 27, done. The thing that I liked about the old flight sims was that, there wasn't that much scenery in between you and the airport. It was definitely way more about, getting yourself set, flying, and then landing. With the graphics that we have now, it's a way more full-featured experience, you could say. Okay, do we have any weather? No weather between us and the airport? Maybe some clouds? Okay, so we're coming into Cape Charles. And how many more miles do we have? Not that many. But we are actually going a bit faster than we need to. Okay, coming in under the clouds. No weather. OAT is 18 below. It's cold up here. You do not want to roll down the windows. Okay, first waypoint on the approach is actually Jebat, and we need to be, I think, ideally at 2,000 for that. I think I want to do more flights on VATSIM, because I forgot, how cool it was to be around traffic and do procedures and stuff like that. I think it would be cool to get back to that, at least in part. But I'm glad that, I made the decision to just disconnect, take off, and fly too, so that I knew that I wasn't in an absolute rush to wait for instruction. Winds are now at our tail at about 29 knots, quartering tailwind. So now we're going faster than we actually indicate on our display. Yeah, I think I am going to do more VATSIM flights in the future. Probably off stream, and then eventually maybe on stream to have fun. We've got 21 nautical miles roughly till Jabat, so we've got plenty of room to stretch our legs. Heading in sync with my current flight plan. Very nice. Well, this could make for a very interesting opportunity to catch the stream. And there we go. There's the start of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. We're not going to fly over that because we're going to fly into Norfolk International Airport for sure. That would be cool. That would be cool. The nostalgia is real, my friend. I'm going to do something. I'm going to actually turn off frame generation for my arrival just to see whether or not we have issues with frame gen, loading terrain and stuff when we arrive at the airport. Because 1080p does not have bad frame rate for me. It's everything else when I go to 1440p or higher. That's when everything starts getting sharper and more info dense, which produces issues with frame rate because you're loading more data. I almost wonder if it's even necessary for me. And there is the Bay Bridge. .5 frames per second. You remember our conversation on your stream. It's like, oh, these young whippersnappers talking about how they can get 70 to 80 frames per second out of their flight sims. We had 1.5, maybe 3 frames per second flying Microsoft Flight Simulator. We had time to think. That's funny. But it was different. You know, you didn't have all this, we didn't have all this, what am I trying to say? Fan base of people playing flight sims. There were people that liked playing flight sim, to be sure, but it was way less, for lack of a better phrase, it was way less publicized, way less popularized. When we started getting into, I think, Microsoft Flight Sim 98 and 2000 and 2004, I think it started to catch on with more people. When the horizon was a single line. That's funny. All right, we're holding at 2,000 feet. That's not bad. That's not bad. And now we're coming into, what, Virginia Beach? That's cool. So now we're starting to see photogrammetry pop up for this area, and I keep my terrain generation slider set to 100 instead of 200, maybe it's 150. But the further out to the horizon you go, the more these shapes look geometric and less ideal. But at the same time, this is keeping my sim at least somewhat performant. Unfortunately, I do feel like my decision to use medium texture resolution is causing a lot of stuff to load, which is consequently impacting my frame rates. This is a different airport. This is not Norfolk. I think this is an airbase. I wish my frame rates were better. What's wrong with this? This sucks. I feel like it's beginning to shake itself off, but at the same time, yeah, we could be doing so much better on frames. I wish I knew why this was happening. Let's go to approach. And let's activate the approach now. All right. All right. I think I see the airport there. There is the runway. Yep, there it is. Wow, my frame rate's tanking. Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna go this way. We're gonna go this way. We're not looping around. There is some stuttering going on, which really makes me think medium resolution isn't even something the sim can handle anymore because of all the photogrammetry that's being loaded in. And I think this is, at least in part, this is an issue that is probably going to become more prevalent as more and more regions get photogrammetric scenery, as more scenery is loaded in. When we were cruising at 34,000 feet, we wouldn't have an issue. Is there an approach button? Okay. Now I see the runway in front of me. All right, let's get down there. Let's get flaps in. Flaps 1. I'm basically full idle. And to reduce our airspeed even more, I'm dropping the landing gear. And I do think a lot of the frame rate slowdown was due to the photogrammetric scenery loading in. So I might experiment with a future stream where I don't have any photogrammetry at all and just use satellite imagery and see whether or not I get as much of a performance hit on landing. Flaps are 2. I'm coming in at 1,600 feet per minute, which is a really, really aggressive landing rate, but I want to get some red lights on the pappies. In theory, I don't have to, because I should focus more on keeping the runway a certain shape. And the winds are literally right down the nose. They're gusting too. I wish my frame rate didn't suck. 500. Again. A third time. Thank you so much. Well above the power lines. Good. Good things. Let's get flaps 3. Ooh, quite bumpy. Let's try to keep it down to center. Come on. Come on. Grabbing towards the middle. And decrap just a little bit. Oof, we're floating. Ooh, we're really floating. Come on. And slam. We were only going about 90 knots anyway, so we're good. But that was a long float. Yay, we're back down on the ground. Way left of center line, but I'm happy. Welcome to Norfolk, everybody. And we landed, and the frame rate got smooth, and we don't even have frame gen on. How about that? I don't necessarily know if it's an issue with frame gen loading photogrammetry or scenery on the ground, but on my 1080p resolution, I don't think it's an issue. Flight director's off, yaw damper's off. I think this is a cargo terminal. Do I want to do a VIP drop-off today? I don't know. But let's just pretend we have to drop somebody off here, so we'll do that. I will peel off of here, slow down. There's still plenty about this airplane that I have to learn. It's been a while since I flew it on a regular basis, so I might just spend some more time flying it off stream. Okay. Parking brake set. Let's get the taxi lights off. And nav light off since we're going to shut down. Let's have somebody bring out the GPU and let's get these airplane engines shut down. Right engine shut down, left engine shut down, and transponder to standby. GPU, chocks, control lock is set, and covers and cargo doors. I think. There we go. That's the cargo door. All right, that's it. So, GPU is available. Gens to off. And we will do pumps, passenger signs, hydro back to off, ADS AOA to off, bus ties open, supply control, and let's see, bleed off, mode manual, ignition's back to off. Anything else I'm missing? Window heats. That's it. And the battery's off as well, which means when we unplug the GPU, we're good. So, done. And we're on the ground. All right, not too shabby. And this is what it looks like with the engine covers, and you've got those remove before flight tags. It's a neat looking plane. I like it. It's fun to fly. Easily the what am I trying to say? This was like a day one purchase for me, and it's been some of the best, like 29 some odd bucks I could have possibly spent on any aircraft for the flight sim period. My issues with frame rates aside, essentially this is one of the best planes I've flown in recent history. And let me see. It's probably not going to give me any issues with frame generation now because I'm parked. But frame gen does make stuff tear a bit. So I don't know. It is. I spend more time with frame gen, and I'm wondering if it's more of a hassle than what I'm accustomed to. So I'll leave it off for now, see if I miss anything. Very nice. It's nice to know you can play it. Cool beans. Let me know if you're interested in streaming it anytime soon, and I'll do my best to attend and just relive some of that nostalgia. Yeah, this was cool. I'm happy. I got a flight in. I'll try again, I think, at some point to do a VATSIM flight because it would be cool. I think I'd like to try doing VATSIM flights on a night where we have, multiple tiers of, plates, sector coverage. So if we have like somebody on ground, tower, and like departure or center, then that's probably good enough. But I think if I'm flying on VATSIM and I'm going to be doing off-stream stuff, then yeah, as long as I'm not in a hurry to get somewhere, I should probably be fine with having just somebody on center. I'll just try to plan for more time. But that's good. That's good. I think that's going to do it for me, guys. I'm happy with that. I'm probably going to chill a little bit, get ready for some time with the family later, and then I will probably be back either Monday or Tuesday night to either do some programming or some scenery development. Again, it really does depend on how I feel. It's just been, I'm not going to deny it's been rough. So, I'm trying to figure out what my next steps are. And part of that involves just making sure I take care of myself and have the ability to do stuff. But it's a learning process. Coffee Cup Arcade, thank you so much for stopping by, and thanks again to Arch and anybody else that was lurking or watching in the background. Appreciate having you guys here. And flights like these actually do happen. Digi does still stream flight sim flights, believe it or not. But in general, you're going to see more creative content. You're going to see more programming content from me in the next few months. And hopefully I will be attending Expo this year. But only the Lord knows right now. Actually, that's a very good idea, Coffee Cup Arcade. I might just go ahead and do that. Or I'll break out the other game box that I have and play some vintage Super Nintendo titles. But in the meantime, guys, like I always like to say, if you don't have peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that is Jesus Christ. Thank you to all my friends who watched or lurked, and thank you to all you guys that have said hello. And until next time, I will probably be either messing around with my computer, some code, some scenery development, or something. And you'll probably see me in another Twitch chat in the near future. So take care, friends. Have a great rest of your Saturday and weekend, and we'll see ya.